member, someone who's done a lot of speaking in this club. Today he's going to be talking to us about a cabin to dream about. Please help me welcome Loras Helmberg.
Fellow Techmasters, welcome guests. Life is not always fun, it really isn't. A number of us in here are over the age of 40, and you certainly have those occasions where you've been kicked in the butt. Even people under 40, you've had those opportunities too. And in your head, you usually have someplace that you escape to. For me, that place would be Yellowstone National Park, a place that I think about. And one stage prop in those thoughts would be the backcountry cabins that exist in Yellowstone. You probably don't know about them. They're not available for public use. They've been around for a long, long time. The people that use them would be primarily backcountry park rangers that go around the park by horse. I couldn't find a picture of a park ranger on a horse, but this would be the type of setup that they would have. Usually they would have one horse rather than two. And when they're in the backcountry patrolling, they have these cabins to stay in. You could stay in a tent, but it really wouldn't be very comfortable at all. It's better for them that they have these cabins which have supplies in them that are needed. So here is one of the cabins that is in the park. This particular one I've seen. I've only seen one cabin there. This is the Pelican Springs cabin located in the lake or fishing bridge area of Yellowstone. But odds are that you aren't going to see it because it's not near a road. None of them are. They're back off the road where people who are doing backcountry patrol can use them. Altogether, there's 40 of these scattered around the park. Most people don't know about them. Again, they are not for public use. Who built these things? Well, when Yellowstone was first started, it had a civilian administration. Poaching in the park was running wild. So, as a result, the U.S. government had the Army come in and take over running the park for a number of years in the late 1800s. The Army did backcountry patrols, and they built cabins like this. They built a number of cabins in the late 1800s. Only 4 of those survived. The other 36 are more modern construction. The structure on these cabins tends to be of what is called the Rocky Mountain style. The Rocky Mountain style has the entrance on the end where the roof peak is. That's not typically what you find in Minnesota when you have a cabin. Here in Minnesota, the door typically would be on the side. So, again, Rocky Mountain structure, the door is under the peak. The interiors of the cabins, which I have not been in, are not auspicious. There's nothing fancy about them. They are rather simple interiors. There are bunk beds, a table, and bookcases. Very, very simple furnishings. They don't want the places broken into. And the backcountry rangers don't have extensive means, so there isn't too much to the inside of them. You have wood heat, you have a gas stove. It's what the people need who are doing patrolling. The original cabins that were built back in the late 1800s were about 16 miles apart. That would be a day's journey on snowshoes. To go a bit more into uses, the uses for the cabins and the reasons for backcountry rangers would be visitor safety, law enforcement, particularly poaching. Poaching can be an issue because there are big elk in the park and elk hunting is popular. And people just would be killing other types of wildlife too if there was not backcountry patrol. Also, wildlife researchers use the cabins at times because it's convenient if you're doing research in a back area of the park. You have a place to stay where you are not going to get rained on. Also, a number of years ago, near Shoshone Lake, which is in the south central part of the park, it's in the backcountry, someone in the middle of winter was on a cross-country ski trip with a couple of other people. John Williams was his name. And he went and decided to do some hot potting. Hot potting is where you go and you will swim in thermal features. It's illegal to do. You can swim where hot water runs into cold, but you can't go and swim in thermal features. This guy made a bad mistake. He went and was badly scalded. He went into a pool, should not have done it, a thermal pool, badly scalded in the backcountry. Some wilderness purists say these backcountry cabins should not exist, but in this case, we're at the backcountry cabins, the people who came out to rescue John Williams, who ended up dying, they would not have had a place to stay in the backcountry in the middle of winter. So again, they're really, really needed. Going back to coaching, you probably heard the name Evel Knievel. Evel Knievel fancied himself, he was a daredevil, he fancied himself as an elk hunting guy. To give you an example of poaching, his favorite place for elk hunting was Yellowstone National Park, where elk hunting was illegal. But Evel Knievel, the man that took risks, that's the place that he took people elk hunting, a big no-no. The backcountry cabins exist to keep people like him from plying their trade. So on days when things are rough and I need a place to think about, I think about Yellowstone, one of the essential crops, the backcountry cabins. It's a nice place to get away. Mr. Toastmaster.